What's up, guys? Hungry Stingram back with myself. Right now, as New Year's is approaching, see a lot of people trying to make New Year's resolutions, and they want to make changes in their life, but but one of the things that's I guess sort of detrimental to goal setting is trying to set too many goals or having too much information. And I want to use the story as an example from this. You got a lot of you who are familiar with Marvel vs. Capcom know about the Thor. I mean, the Thor, the movie. I think a lot of people have seen that movie. And you saw Odin, the one-eyed god. Well, how Odin got his one eye was, when you think of Odin, what do you think about? You think about wisdom. Odin basically sacrificed his eye because he went across the well of wisdom, and there was this guardian called Mimir. And Mimir said, you can drink from the well, but you have to sacrifice an eye in return. So he took out an eye and he gave it to Mimir, and then he took a drink from the well and he gains the wisdom. They call it the wisdom of the cosmos. Now, how this relates to cutting down on information is that, sometimes there's two parts to this. There's too much information, too little information. Too little information is that you barely look at anything, then you just start doing it. The problem with that is that there may be dangers involved that you don't know about. Like, maybe you want to try doing backflips. Well, you don't look at. I guess if you think about it deeply enough, you can probably see that doing a backflip is kind of dangerous. But some people, sometimes people are looking up information. They think it's cool and they just start doing it, but they don't know the dangers of it and how to prepare for it properly, so they get hurt easily. So that's the dangers of not having enough information. You run the risk of not knowing enough and end up hurting yourself. Then there's the opposite end of that, is that having too much information, what happens is that when you have too much information, you don't know which way to go. Everything becomes abstract because you like a workout plan. You got the bear workout, you got or let me use another example. Like maybe you want to eat a food off a menu. You got so many choices. You got lobster, you got salmon, you got chicken, you got pork, and you got 50 different things on the menu. You don't know which one to choose. There's too much information. What you have to do is, this is just a suggestion. You don't have to. You can do it your own way. But usually, I try to find maybe 4 good sources for the information. 4 sources that I think are good, and I look up their stuff, and it seems to make sense. And it seems to be a trusted source of information. And but sometimes. So 4 sources that I trust and I think has good information, and the information between all of them is more or less consistent about the thing I'm trying to do. So they're not contradicting each other too much. Now, if you have one really good source, like one source that you trust, like this is like the God's truth about that one subject, that's fine too. Some things. I go towards this person, in the scientific community. He's got this information, and he doesn't bullshit around. He just tells it to you straight. He won't ever, he'll just tell it to you, even if it's different than the mainstream media. He'll tell it to you straight. So this guy, won't tell you nonsense. He's like straight to the face. So so information sources like this is good. So when you're having the New Year's resolution, one thing I would consider is, like I said, you can only climb one mountain. You can only climb one really big mountain in your life. You gotta choose one big thing. And I guess the New Year's resolution, pick a goal, I guess, that help you move towards your main one. I mean, one thing to consider is don't think about, I want to get 6-pack abs, I want to be a millionaire, then I want to become, then I want to have, what else do people want? Then I want to get married this year. You got too many goals on your hands. You got too many goals. If you gotta make sure you have the big one, then just, and like I said, about I mentioned motivation a lot. You gotta put things into your head that's gonna really help motivate you. So you can. I made a separate video about that. About pictures. That one was be remembered. I made another one. I made one about something about. I mentioned philosophy or another. It was a few videos ago. I forgot the specific one, but I mentioned about having the philosophy, having the images and the sounds, controlling your environment. So you're putting things into your mind that's helping you. So New Year's resolution. If maybe you should look up 4 good sources of some sort of if you're trying to accomplish something new for the New Year's, maybe you should pick 4 good sources, or maybe about 4 good sources. I'm just giving you an estimate. About 4 good sources, or one, especially if you're new to the subject and you don't know which way to go. Maybe you don't know which one is the most trusted source because you're not familiar with all the sources. So maybe you should look up maybe about 4, then start cutting out the other stuff and get right down to how to accomplish the thing that you're trying to accomplish. So I hope that helps, guys. I will see you guys next year.